With Zimmerman trial, Juror B29. Her name is Maddie. She didn't want her full name revealed, but she wanted to tell her story, and as you'll see, not in shadow, not in disguise. She is a 36-year-old mother of 8 and works full-time as a certified nurse's aide. She's of Puerto Rican descent. She lived in Chicago and moved to Florida just a few months before the jury was selected. Her attorney, David Chico, also joined us, and it was important to Maddie to express what it was like to sit on that jury. Take us into the deliberations. You've heard all the evidence. You've heard the closing arguments, all of that. You go into the room for the first time together as a group. Did you take a vote right away to see where you stand? No?
I didn't take a vote.
What was your first vote?
My first vote was second-degree murder.
And many people are wanting to know, how did you go from, in 9 hours, from feeling he was guilty of second-degree murder to not guilty?
It was hard. A lot of us that wanted to find something bad, something that we could connect to the law, because all 6 of us, well, let's not speak for all 6 of us, but for myself, he's guilty because the evidence shows he's guilty.
He's guilty of?
Killing Trayvon Martin. But we couldn't prove that intentionally he killed him. And that's the way that the law was read to me.
Tell us more about the emotion during those 9 hours, from the initial vote of murder, second degree, to not guilty. What was going on in your mind, your heart?
I was the juror that was going to give him the hung jury. Oh, I was. I fought to the end.
Did you feel a little, for lack of a better word, bullied in the deliberations?
I don't know if I was bullied. I trust God that I wasn't bullied, but
do you feel that your voice was heard in that
My
room?
voice was heard. I was the loudest. Yeah, that's for sure.
You're a mother, as you said.
Yes.
You have children that were Trayvon's age.
I have plenty of children.
Yeah, but 8 of them. and what would your reaction have been? Your son going to the store, getting candy and iced tea, going home, altercation happens, and your son is killed.
I feel that I was forcibly included in Trayvon Martin's death. I carry him on my back. I'm hurting as much as Trayvon Martin's mom is. Because there's no way that any mother should feel that pain.
And you said earlier that you are the juror that could have made it a hung jury.
Oh, yes.
Do you have regrets that you didn't?
Kind of. I want Trayvon's mom to know that I'm hurting. And if she thought that nobody cared about her son, I could speak for myself. I do care. I couldn't do anything about it. And I felt like I let a lot of people down. And I'm thinking to myself, did I go the right way? Did I go the wrong way? I know I went the right way because by the law and the way it was followed is the way I went. But if I would have used my heart, I probably would have went a hung jury. And believe it with all my heart, because I do have kids.
You wanted to come forward.
Yes.
You haven't asked for money. You haven't asked for a book deal. You haven't asked for anything other than a forum to be able to tell your story.
Yeah. I don't need money. I think time is healing, but Trayvon Martin will always be in my heart.
Some people have said George Zimmerman got away with murder. How do you respond to those people who say that?
George Zimmerman, George Zimmerman got away with murder, but you can't get away from God. And at the end of the day, he's gonna have a lot of questions and answers he has to deal with. The law couldn't prove it. We just have to believe in the Lord that if he has to pay, he will pay.
But you feel in your heart of hearts that you and the jury approached it and came with the decision, and you stand by that decision to this day?
I stand by the decision because of the law.
And finally, for you, Maddie, what would you like to say to Trayvon's parents?
I would like to apologize because I feel like I let them down. We just couldn't prove anything. And I wish them the best and that God blesses them through all this in peace.
And that is Maddie's hope, peace for the Martin family, for everyone in this country. She was not going to say anything until juror B37 spoke out 2 days after the verdict. And you may recall that 4 other jurors signed a statement distancing themselves from that juror's comments. Maddie also felt it didn't accurately reflect her feelings. But one thing Maddie did agree with the other juror on, she said race was not discussed in the deliberations. It never came up in their discussions. But the one thing, George, she came back to again and again and again, she said the law, the law, the law. And if you remember President Obama's first statement after the verdict, we are a nation of laws.
And we have to respect that law. Boy, she really did want to say that that first juror did not speak for everyone. They've all reacted so strongly to that.